I'm going to use my ball-like energy to antagonize you, Chris.
Use those balls.
All right, it's 8:35
Yeah, I guess so.
p.m. 8:35 past time.
Rob, I
9:35
imagine
future time.
you was a loose ball kind of guy.
In this Tennessee heat, yes, they are
Yeah.
low, loose, and full of juice. You gotta get
Love
the video capture in here. Okay,
Okay, my
video
computer's acting
capture
like
going.
a dumbass.
I am recording the Discord window and not any other window because that one time I did it, so now I have to put it in my line check forever. 5.
You should have just put up the
4,
recording of your script.
yeah. No, it says terrible things about both of you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, opener.
You must have done some naughty shit there, Bart. There's a contract out on your life. Believe me, I was hired to kill you. But I'm not gonna do it. Either because I'm in love with your daughter or I have a newfound respect for life.
That punk is either in love with that guy's daughter or he has a newfound respect for life.
My whole life! Hopefully not.
So
Hello
good.
and welcome to the Best Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the best movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Achman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci, and Bob Hessick. Hey guys, how are you? And why are we doing Grosse Pointe Blank?
Because it's probably in my top 5 movies, and it's great. It's so good that it beat out Double Shawshank on the last poll, even though you
did?
tried sandbagging me by obscuring the movie title with Double Shawshank.
I did.
So
I
I
did.
am feeling great. I am ready to get into this. Based on the clips you chose, I have reason to believe you really like this movie, even though you aggressively hate both John Cusack and even more so Dan Aykroyd. So I am very excited to get into this and see how things go. Hey Bob, how are you?
So true.
Hey, I'm always happy to watch a good movie. I've been watching some real stinkers recently, and this was a nice break.
It was a nice palate
And-
cleanse.
Yeah, definitely a nice palate cleanse.
All right,
Saw this
Well,
in the
can I
theater
say
when it
something
came
real
out.
quick?
sure.
I want to let you know, Rob, that I ended up using an abuser as one of our What Ages Well?
Okay.
Or What Works Well? And I don't remember the title of test number 3, What Works Well? Is it What Works Well?
It's
Or what is well?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
What works well. It's what works
Yeah,
well.
okay. So get ready because I'm going to have you use an abuser for What
Okay.
Works Well. Go ahead, Bob. Why don't you explain this movie for us?
Hey, Bob's about to do one of his famous movie explanations.
What? Where? What? Come on, man, out with it. We haven't got all day to wait.
It's just over there.
Hooray.
Okay, Hunky Hitman hitches up with Honey from high school for hijinks and hilarity.
She is a honey.
With Honey from high school for hijinks and hilarity. Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah, I'll be as succinct as I can be because it's not that, it's a slightly complex story, but not that complex. So a hitman who is obsessed with his high school girlfriend takes a hit job in his hometown during his 10-year high school reunion. And he tries to rekindle the relationship, realizing that his line of work is likely at an end if he wants to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Very nice, Bob. And this is why we have Bob explain the movies, because Rob and I would not be so succinct, I don't think.
Yeah.
But you know what we like to use Rob for? We like to use Rob to comb the pits of insanity over in YouTube, because Rob is one of them. So, Rob, why don't you throw it to YouTube comments?
Sure.
And remember, my friend,
Poo-poo and pee-pee on YouTube!
will affect you in the future.
These are going to piss you off, Chris. Here we go.
Yeah.
John Cusack is the undisputed king of the rom-com. Agreed.
No.
Next comment. Best movie ever. Agreed. Next comment. One of the best. Agreed. Next comment. Thank you, John Cusack. Agreed. Next comment. I like this movie the same way I love Raising Arizona and Tremors.
Hey.
Silly but well worth it. Agreed. Next comment. First time I've laughed at a film in decades. Agreed. Next comment. Excellent movie. Agreed. Next comment. Take care of yourself, Ken. Thank you for the pen. Agreed. Next comment. John Wick did it with a pencil, but Cusack did it first with a pen. Agreed. And then this is probably catch-all territory, but it's funny. Next comment. Most bullets ever fired out of 2 revolvers in history.
Yeah, well, I do have a comment on that, but yeah, we'll save it for the catch-all. Also, I want to warn you, my wife and children are going to burst through the door at some point and
That's
probably
fine.
be loud. But yeah, be ready for that because they're watching fireworks, so they're not in the house.
Okay.
But for now, throw it to test number 1, the best of its kind. Test number 1, the best of its kind.
Right.
All right, Mallrats, Jason Lee, Michael Rooker,
Right.
we've seen on the podcast before, 58.
Uh-huh.
Better Off Dead with Cusack himself, a 77.
Oh,
That's good. That's a good movie.
I just love that movie.
It's fucking great.
16 Candles, Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall, in 81.
All right.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Sean Penn, is 78. And a movie called Real Genius with Val Kilmer, is 77. I heard that one blows.
I never heard.
No,
I've heard of it, but I
that-
haven't seen it.
Classic. I grew up with it. I love it.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, that's a high average. It's a 74.2. I'm sorry about that. Rob, what do you think Grosse Pointe Blank has? I
It's
bet
like
you
a
know.
90. I actually don't know the score, even though I'm obsessed with this movie. It's got to be like a 95, though.
I'm going to say somewhere in the 86.
Bob, you're closer with an 82. That gives us a 7.8 in the positive. It is the best of its kind, but not by too much.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Let's throw it to test number 2. Ain't that a pitch?
How about that kinky sex?
I can't resist your charm, Danny boy.
Wow. What a pitch.
All right. Who's
I'm
going first?
extremely proud of mine. Can I go third?
It's fine. Bob.
Yeah,
You,
I'll start.
all right.
Because mine is just, I wrote mine just to make you mad.
Okay.
All right. With a soundtrack the opposite of Muzak and a leading lady who didn't need a huge rack, Al Larkin is such a pro, but who really steals the show is that devilishly handsome John Cusack.
Ew. Just piss me off.
Okay. I did some plotting here. So, John Cusack's Martin Blank is sullen and forlorn. He gets invited to his hometown, but hasn't been fully warned. He wants to tap Minnie Driver, pop off some rounds, and bust inside her. Bing, bang, boom, ha ha ha, popcorn.
Very nice. Bob, this is the antithesis of yours, I think. You ready?
Yeah.
The Cusacks are ugly. There's no way around it. I look upon them and I'm completely confounded. John looks ill. This is a good film. And Joan's face looks like dough twice over pounded.
You know, can I just say one thing about Joan Cusack?
She's gross.
She seems like it's almost like the way her character is. It's like they wanted Gillian Anderson from the X-Files, but they couldn't get her. So like, hey John, can you get your sister Joan on the phone?
Yeah,
We got a
right.
gig for her.
They're in lots of stuff together. Like
They are.
I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't list it, but it was a lot. It was like a dozen films together,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
including 16 Candles, actually.
Well, how
yeah,
about
yeah.
that? All right. So who wins?
I like Rob's 4.
We all win because we watched this great movie, and we
Alright,
don't
so
really
what,
rank
like
these.
So what, like a team 3?
I'll take a 5.
Team 3.
Bob?
Oh, sure. Even though I said Rob 4.
Yeah, and I said Rob 5. So that's Rob 4.5, and then Chris said 3. So 5 plus 4, that's 9.5 plus 3 is 12.5. So like 4 and 4.125.
1.5 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Fair.
a Rob win 4.125.
Yeah. I'm not good at math. My head hurts.
We're going highbrow again, by the way, guys. All right, let's throw to test number 3. This is what works well, I'm pretty sure. Test number 3. What works well?
All right.
All right. So number 5 is the convenience store. This is the Chris as a kid connection. I do love the convenience store, Rob. I think you mentioned something along
Yeah.
those lines, but like the Doom arcade game and all the candies and soda
Yeah.
pops and everything. Everything I remember as a kid loving about Melba Pharmacy was the convenience store that I would go to all the time as a kid. So yeah, it gave me those goosebumpsy, like real good feels. Number 4, this is Jumpy John's judoing a gentleman in the gym.
Yeah.
I like that if you're going to have an assassin and the guy's going to introduce himself a little too fast. I like that, what's his name in the movie? I don't remember his character name.
Martin Blank?
Aykroyd? No.
Yeah, Martin Blank. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
I love that Martin Blank is like doing judo and shit to like fuck
He's
this
on
guy
edge.
up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And he should be. Sorry, I'm looking for there it is. I just gotta plug in the laptop real quick. All right. There we go. All right, number 3. This is The Abuser.
We have 2 abusers. I gave them
It's
names.
the first one. It's the one that happens at like 4 minutes in the movie.
Okay. Hey, mental telepathy, astral projection, you know.
Here you are. Right.
You know
right
why?
there?
Because he's fucking insane now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but Dan Aykroyd is a fucking insane person now, who is like all about crystal skull energy, and like he has a vodka named after crystal skulls because he thinks that the actual legends of the crystal skulls, which are clearly made up, have some kind of like spiritual power. And he's like one of those chicks that's like really into crystals, but it's skulls instead.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that. He's also like a huge like UFO guy. Like I don't know if he's been abducted, but like knows people who have been abducted and like anally probed and all this stuff. You know?
Yeah.
He
And then we
believes
have
in everything.
Dennis Quaid and his whole Star-Whacker theory.
Randy Quaid.
Oh,
Randy
really?
Quaid. I
Randy
that's the
Quaid, yeah.
yeah. Randy Quaid and the Star-Whackers. Randy Quaid and the Star. That's a great band name. Randy Quaid and the Star-Whackers.
Yeah, it is. Give them a listen for sure. All right, number 2 and what works well, and in my opinion, what ages well. This is Minnie Driver. I mean, have you seen her lately? Have you seen her lately? She's still.
I googled her because I didn't know if it was spelled with an IE or a Y when I was doing my limerick, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, still looking real fine. But I don't know. There's something about her in this movie that's just extremely attractive.
Yeah, it's the it's the forwardness and the confidence and the hint of loss in her eyes that she rekindles an old love.
With the one that got forced American accent.
Oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't know. Good job. Number 1 though, Jeremy gets Jameson and Cusack gets a club soda. But I'm talking about Jeremy Piven. I don't remember his character's name, but after the murder, I thought this was great. They go to the bar, and the dude who just saw his first body, it gets a whiskey because that's what you would do, you know, if you just had to help your friend dispose of a body. And Cusack's like, I'll have a club soda, and it's subtle. Yeah, it's subtle, but it gives you the feeling, and I really love that. Did you guys want to mention anything else?
The whole movie.
Oh.
Hank Azaria.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's not in your clips, but like when Blank comes into like the men's room, and then like he leaves, and then Aykroyd comes out of the stall, and he's like, "Oh, he's coming back," and then Aykroyd runs. He's like, "Oh, fuck you guys."
Yeah, I did like that. All right, Rob, go ahead and throw it to your ad read so you can tell us how good this movie is.
No, that's not what I.
Hey, Rob, this guy wants a peek at your goods.
Permit me to see one. Bring in the big one.
Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of the best movie ever made is brought to you by Dr. Schlong's Hole Wideners. Dr. Schlong is just his name, and this has nothing to do with your wiggly little penis. So what holes are being widened, you asked? Front holes, back holes, top holes and bottom holes, side holes, other side holes, and break on through to the other side holes.
Wow.
Dr. Schlong's Hole Wideners, for when your current girth and depth needs to be just a little more open. Rob has a migraine. This is the best it's going to be.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Schlong. Can't wait to give one of those openers or wideners a try. Sweet. Glad to have you on board.
Yeah.
All right, let's start to test number 4, the best dialogue.
Good movie, best dialogue. Here we go.
Test number 4, the best dialogue.
All right, number 5. This is these two.
I got a few problems. Don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, what'd you do about it?
Well, I tried everything, yeah. I went to the nutritionist, the herbalist, the psychiatrist.
Really, it's quite a list. Any of it work?
I can't tell yet, but you gotta try, you know what I'm saying? It's your duty.
Oh, yeah, Patriot. Sure. So tell me more about your problems. And I'll tell you about mine, and then we'll solve them tonight.
Not so fast. You're still in the penalty box.
Oh, right. Well, thanks for coming to see me.
So, is there a Mrs. Mysterio?
No, but I have a very nice cat.
Not the same.
Well, you don't know my cat. It's very demanding.
It? You don't know if it's a boy or a girl?
I respect its privacy.
You happy?
Kind of.
Really?
Sort of. Talk soon?
Okay.
Yeah, I just like their dynamic, you know?
Yeah, they're good.
Like, it's cute.
Stellar.
It's not too forced. It sounds like a real conversation between two people that are, like, kind of trying to impress each other with wittiness.
It's a convincing level of guarded enthusiasm.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, something on them.
All right, how about number
4?
4. This is popcorn.
And here's chance 2 for you. You think about coming in with me. You ponder, okay?
I'll think about it.
Because either way, I'm gonna get you, kid.
Yeah, get what? Get back.
Hey, bing, 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 bang. Popcorn.
Yeah, whatever. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you
I
too.
went
buddy.
a little longer on this one.
You like that Pacific Northwest country? All the mist and that up there?
Haven't been there in years.
Catch you.
Yeah, you look great. Nice to see you again. Drive safe.
All right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I like the little addition there. Yeah, it's super weird. But I don't know, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what he means.
Exactly, because like he's very cold and calculating, but he's got a screw loose, and that's what makes like I'm also not a huge Aykroyd fan, but like, he was cast perfectly for this role in this specific movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I like that Gene Hackman.
You there?
Yeah. Am I here?
Okay. I would like a Gene Hackman, dickhead.
All right, number 3. This is Give It a Shot.
I had one where I was that television mechanical rabbit. You know, with
The battery bunny.
Yeah, I was the bunny.
That sounds like a very, very depressed dream.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
One, it's a terrible dream. It's a depressing dream to dream about that rabbit. It's got no brain. It's got no blood. It's got no anima. It just keeps banging on those meaningless symbols endlessly and going and going and going. Time is up.
Time's up already? We want to do a half a session? Can we just pretend like we have a normal doctor-patient relationship? I'll ask you a piece of advice. You give me an answer. You know, advice. Should I go to the reunion?
Yes. Get out of town.
Thank you.
Go see some old friends. Have some punch. Visit with what's her name?
Debbie.
Debbie. Don't kill anybody for a few days. See what it feels like.
I'll give it a shot.
No, don't give it a shot. Don't shoot anything.
That's the first scene with the therapist, right? In the whole movie. The reason it works so well, because it's immediately adversarial from the therapist perspective, because he's like, you just keep showing up and acting like
exactly.
patient.
I actually thought I liked their relationship the most. I thought that them on screen together or talking over the phone was the best the movie got, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because of that exactly. Like, the therapist feels necessary to help him because that's what he dedicated his life to.
Yeah.
But he is fucking terrified and would really rather not.
Yeah.
But like as long as he's trapped, he like does give him advice, you know.
He's like,
and I just really
fuck.
like that dynamic. Yeah, it's like a really complicated dynamic, and I love it personally. So I thought
you don't
that
get
was some
much
of the
better
best
than Alan Arkin in terms of neurotic fear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
honestly,
seen the original The In-Laws with him and Peter Falk?
no, but
I
I want to
have
now 'cause I
not.
do like Alan Arkin.
It's so good.
He's
So
the he's the grandpa in Little Miss Sunshine too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yes.
Also a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That might actually
Honestly,
make my
that's-
poll for next season. That's how
Ooh,
much I like
I'd
that.
totally watch
It's
that.
a-
Yeah.
It's a candidate. It's a really great movie. I do love it. So
That's fantastic.
we should consider that next season.
All right.
All right, let's go to number 2. This is Tandem.
So you never gave me an answer.
You said we talk later.
Well, this is later. See, I figure if we go together, we have a much better chance of getting out of there alive. You know, we can partner up, watch for traps, you know, go tandem. I think it'd be a lot safer than if we lone wolfed it.
I have to say I'm curious as to what 10 years has done to you.
You too? Is that the same bed?
Uh-huh.
The magic bed. The magic carpet. Wow.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you an answer if you give me an airplane.
Okay.
Cool.
Ready?
Keep your feet low.
I remember.
Oh, it's been 10 years. Oh!
Fly. Be free.
I'm flying.
Be free.
Emancipation.
Oh, you're free.
Of course. Okay.
What if your dad comes in?
You can give him one, too.
Hot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's again, and some of this will come up in my catch-all. But the way I've said it before on the pod, but the way that they can get a lot done with just a few sentences, like the idea of the airplane there at the end, is a great way to show what they like. That's a thing that they both remember they used to do. You know, which really makes you feel like they used to hang out. And I like that a lot. But I also love, towards the beginning of that clip, all the references to what he does for a living without her knowing or ever picking up on it. It's just really for you, the listener, which I love. And she'll, like, she doesn't, in a movie, a lesser quality movie, they would call back to it. But you don't need that. Like, later she'd be like, oh, that's why you were saying we should go tandem and then we could watch each other's backs in case somebody, you know, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, they didn't have to call back to it because they knew you got it in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I really love.
Yeah.
And Rob, I don't know if you influenced me here. You texted me this line before I ever saw the movie. So I think you set me up a little bit, but I do love number 1.
Snare roll. You know what? Fuck it.
Protein.
What are you in Detroit for? The Red Wings need a new goon.
Hi, my name is Melanie. Let me tell you about some of our specials. Today, there's the alfalfa on my mind. That's our featured omelet. Or there's Gatsby's West Egg omelets. And if you're in the mood for something different, there's the I Left My Heart in San Fran cheesy.
What do you have?
2 poached eggs, scrape off the milky white stuff. Hash browns well done. English muffin for the bread and a coffee.
Whole grain pancakes and an egg white omelet, please.
What would you like in your omelet?
Nothing in the omelet, nothing at all.
Well, that's not technically an omelet.
Well, I don't want to get into a semantic argument over it. I just want the protein, all right?
Come on there, Iceman. Live a little.
I don't know. Why is that the best line in the movie? I agree.
Because they're both sitting across from each other with guns drawn underneath the table, having a very serious moment, and like without breaking character, like he makes his preference clear to the waitress, and moments before he goes woo, woo, on the way out of the store when he finally snaps.
Yeah. All right. That's why. Way to sum it up there, Rob. All right, that's what you have for great dialogue. I'm sure there's plenty more, but it was a good movie, I admit. But we'll get into some more clips in test number 6 later. For now, let's throw it to test number 5. Bob, take over with the best production.
I do have an honorable mention because I don't think you got a clip for this. When he's driving in the car smoking a joint with Jeremy Piven, And he's like 10 years, and he gives him the whole rundown. He's like, I freaked out, joined the military. I got drafted by this. I came out, and now I'm a professional killer. And then like he's like, okay. And then they keep driving, and then like 30 seconds later, he's like, 10 years. He's like, I freaked out. I joined the army.
That was good. Yeah, I did enjoy that. That's true. That should have made it, but it didn't.
All right, so we're doing best production now, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Test number 5, the best production.
Hooray!
This is a slash. The two things I thought were done so well in production are the pacing and the balance of things. So pacing and balance. I'm going to say those are good things. So not only does this movie start moving immediately with the first few frames are just it pulls no punches. It's just straight execution, no fanfare, very realistic approach to an assassination. And then it goes immediately into humor, and then there's more humor, and then Alan Arkin, he's so good. And then there's drama. There's actual like romantic drama with Minnie Driver. Then back to action again at the Quickie Mart, and then it goes. It's basically breakneck pacing, with massive attention being placed on exposition without the lengthy dialogue.
They show and don't tell, like perfectly.
Yeah. There's breaks in humor, there's breaks in action, there's breaks in drama, but none are ignored. None were out there welcome. This is basically how a 90s movie should be done. Like, I'll say that this movie and Pulp Fiction would be an interesting double feature as a snapshot into a good, and I'm gonna coin a word here, Actio-dramedy.
Actio-dramedy.
Actio-dramedy. It's action, drama, comedy. It's a coined phrase. I think this is exactly what that is.
Is that yours?
Pulp Fiction because I made that up. I even Googled it to make sure it was not someone else's.
Nice.
Okay, so it's ours.
Yeah.
Team win.
Yeah.
Chris, good job.
Yes. Fuck you.
Anyway, I do think that's it was just done so well. Like the pacing was just so, it just kept your attention, never got boring, never got, and if it did get a little bit too serious, it shifted immediately into the next scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie came out when I was like, it was in 95, 96. So I was like 8 years old, and I saw it. I watched it with my dad when it came out like on VHS. And I think it fucked up my movie watching experience for like the rest of my life, because this is the standard I hold like this kind of movie too. And I don't think anything has matched it since. For me.
Well, come on.
No, it's when it comes to because what I do for a living, I pitched an article and wrote it that's coming out this weekend called "We Need More Violent Rom-Coms." And I use this movie as the point of reference for why we need more violent rom-coms.
I mean, I enjoyed this movie. It was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to argue. It's not in my top 5, but I also didn't grow up with it. So you consider the fact that, it helped shape your childhood and your fucked up brain. All right, let's turn to test number 6, the best acting. Test number 6. The best acting. I hate to give the brother-sister duo any credit, but I will with number 1, Daddy. This is Immovable.
Look, Sergeant Pepper, I really need you to shut up about that.
It's out of my hands. The gods want you to go back home, and they want you to delete someone while you're there.
Would you describe their position on this matter as inflexible?
Intractable, sir. I booked you on an early flight tomorrow morning.
Dossier. All right, listen, I'm going to call you from Detroit. And just make sure that you pick up the dry cleaning and feed the cat.
Great line.
Okay?
Don't forget your identity.
All right. Could you tell Dr. Oatman that I'm on my way?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right? Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love how it's immediately implied that the dry cleaning and the cat means something else. And then you get the payoff in the third act when she's just dousing the office in gasoline.
Yes. That is fucking dope. I also I gotta give it to John Cusack. Her reaction to his springing back into the office was really believable, and that's a hard thing to do. I think a lot of people do that wrong. So that was kind of the highlight for me there. But I believe they're brother sisters, so maybe they have an advantage. But I believe their relationship.
Yeah, it's the same with I know you don't like saggy Gyllenhaal, but same
I don't.
same kind of
Not even
chemistry
a
in
little.
Donnie Darko at the dinner table when like they're just brother and sister, just bickering and antagonizing each other. Like it was very believable because they actually probably did that in real life, like at the dinner table.
Yeah.
So they channeled that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like before dinner though had her face in the oven for a little while. All right, let's jump to number.
Boo!
This is me breathing.
Open. Listen. Don't hang up. All right, I didn't kill anyone, except some guy tried to kill me, so if I see that guy again, I'm definitely going to kill him, but I'm not going to kill anyone else, except maybe the guy I was sent here to kill, I don't know. But anyway, I saw Debbie. I'm on my way to the reunion with Debbie, but I'm just feeling a little anxious. I just want to do a phone room.
Okay. Repeat after me. I am at home with the me. I am rooted in the me who was on this adventure.
I'm at home with the me. I'm rooted in the me who was on this adventure.
Good. Now take a deep breath and realize that this is me breathing.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. You don't understand. You want me to say it or you want me to realize it?
What?
That I'm breathing.
Say it.
This is me breathing.
Good. Let's go do that for about 20 minutes.
All right, I gotta go.
Okay. Keep it up. Don't kill anybody.
Right.
He just doesn't give a shit anymore. He's just eating his chicken Caesar wrap in his dark office by himself.
He can finally eat again because he got John Cusack to leave town.
He's blowing his phone up.
I had to have another clip of them. I'm sorry. I know there wasn't all that much of them, but their dynamic was just my favorite. So there it is. Number 3. This is Reason.
You're a government spook?
Yes, I mean, no, I was before, but I'm not now. But that's all irrelevant, really. The idea of governments, nations is public relations theory at this point.
I don't want to hear about the theories. I want to hear about the dead people. Explain the dead people. Who do you kill?
That's very complicated, but in the beginning, it matters, of course, that you have something to hang on to, a specific ideology to defend, right? I mean, taming unchecked aggression, that was my personal favorite. Other guys like Live Free or Die, but, you get the idea. But that's all bullshit. And I know that now. That's all bullshit. You do it because you're trained to do it, you were encouraged to do it, and ultimately, you get to like it. I know that sounds bad.
For money.
You're a psychopath.
No. Psychopath kills for no reason. I kill for money. It's a job. That didn't sound right. Let me see if I can put it another way. If I show up at your door, chances are you did something to bring me there.
I do it for money. So good. So fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's trying so
good.
hard.
I mean,
he's trying so hard to convince her he's not a shithead. He's like, no, I just kill people for money.
Yeah, but isn't he, right? Like, aren't you? If you're...
Yeah.
If you're taking on contract killing, you're a piece of shit because you do not know anything about the person you're killing, except for what's in the dossier, which was crafted by the person that wants them dead. So you really don't know anything, and you're not asking questions. You're just killing someone for money, and he's trying to find a way to put that gently to her. So I'm not sure that they should have ended up together, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, I get it's a 90s rom-com, so everything is a little softer. Imagine, though, that you found out that Stacy was a murderer, I don't know that you would shift your feelings, but,
I would
think the average person might be like, oh, you kill people? Maybe I don't want to be killed.
I would find out who's paying her, and then I would maybe whisper in their ear a list of people I want dead.
Bob, how would you react?
I would ask where the money is. That's right.
Yeah,
that's what I would ask. Where's the money?
Totally fair. Totally fair. All right, Bob. Why don't we throw it to you in fact or no fact?
First, my honorable mention is actually the clip you picked as an abuser. So I'm going to play the second abuser now. All right.
Cool.
This union, is there going to be meetings?
Yeah.
Of course. No meetings.
That's it. All right.
Of course.
I just love it because like he never wants to drop the lone gunman like persona he's made for himself over the last 10 years, and he's just like, and like having had careers where like you had to have meetings like mandatory, like that's a good enough reason to open fire on somebody if they're trying to get you to like get back into that culture again, you know. So
yeah, right. I did love.
It's really true.
I liked
Really
their
true.
I liked their exchange in the mansion at the end.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Right, so
and
fact
it, and Dan
number
Aykroyd was somewhat. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was, yeah. Dan Aykroyd was what? I want to know what your feelings are on him, because I feel like it's going to contradict what you normally say about him. So, all right, fact or no fact?
He was pretty
You
good.
didn't come here for crappy poo-poo facts like this.
Last time here in this bumper.
That very, very often the wind will cause pollination. If not, then a bee or any
Chris's silence makes me feel like this is not the last time we're going to hear this bumper.
No, you came here for some stone-cold facts from Bob, like this one.
In my land, women are for advancing the race, not for fighting man's battle.
All right.
So I called this game Engrossed because I was engrossed.
Right.
Yeah. So there's quite a few things here, and I've been saving some. I've been like biting my lip a couple times because I wanted to say things. I'm like, oh, that might be in my game, and because I forgot what I wrote down because I wrote so many things down about this movie, but only 4 of them made it into fact or no fact, and so you got to find out which one is not from this movie or about the people in this movie. Okay, first one.
All right.
Heard.
John Cusack and Jeremy Piven were actually high school friends, much like in the movie's storyline. Okay, second. The film cast includes 1 Oscar winner and 4 Oscar nominees. Okay. According to producers, the role of Martin was always intended for John Cusack and no one else. But, however, according to a DVD extra fact track, Keanu Reeves was also considered for the part.
Okay.
Okay, fourth one. The goon who was stalking Martin Blank and the one from the convenience store was a world
La
champion
Poubelle.
kickboxer. Yes. World champion kickboxer who also was John Cusack's kickboxing instructor for the movie. And fifth, this movie is the only IMDb credit for the screenwriter.
Shit. See, you know what makes this segment so hard, Bob?
Yeah.
Is that I can't look any of this stuff up while trying to win. That's the hardest part. Of
Honor system.
The only part. Of
It
this
is
segment.
difficult.
Let's see.
Yeah, how could you? You know, like I'm busy writing. I can't also like
Cusack and
look it up.
Piven were actually high school friends. I mean, they seem around the same age. Their hairlines are at the similar lengths. I feel like in terms of like comedians like being in a graduating class with one another, I feel like they probably came up around the same time, had a similar like trajectory. So possibly includes 1 Oscar winner and 4 nominees. I don't know. I don't follow the award circuits enough to like confirm or deny that, but it sounds believable. I would say the therapist whose name constantly escapes me may have been a winner because he's very talented. Always intended for Cusack, but Reeves was mentioned. This was during the time where everybody was like hating on Keanu. He was like the Nickelback of the 90s when it came to acting. Like it was fun to dunk on him.
Yeah.
Whereas John Cusack has always been like the resident rom-com guy at that point in his career. Like if it was a rom-com and it was doing well, he was probably in it within like the late 80s to mid 90s. I believe the kickboxer thing because their fight was choreographed really well, and that makes sense if it was your trainer that you were fighting on screen. And then the only credit for screenwriter, I mean, I hope not. That'd be unfortunate because this is a perfect movie. But it's one of those things where it's like, Harper Lee only wrote one novel for how long? So I'm going to say Reeves is the lie because I just don't think he had the star power and was appreciated at the level that he's at. I think anachronistically, it's easy to say, oh yeah, Keanu Reeves would be perfect for this because like knowing what we know about him now. But back then, I think he was still kind of a joke. I think he was kind of a joke. And there's also the connection with the John Wick and the pencil and the pen, which I think is kind of like is the red herring here. So I'm gonna say Keanu Reeves is the misdirect here.
I like that. That was one of my choices as well. But since I can only make one myself, I'm going to go with the Piven and Cusack high school relationship. I'm gonna say that that's not true. Sorry about my kids.
That's fine. I got fireworks going right now.
All right. So the facts of the matter are that Cusack and Piven were actually high school friends.
Okay.
Much like the movie storyline. Alan Arkin won an Oscar. And Minnie Driver, Barbara Harris, who played Cusack's mom in the movie, Dan Aykroyd, and Joan Cusack were all Oscar nominees.
All right.
Okay. According to, sorry, I'm gonna go. I almost said that. The goon stalking Martin Blank was Benny the Jet, and he was a world champion kickboxer and Cusack's kickboxing instructor. And the person who's credited as the screenwriter was this is his only credit for screenwriting.
Wow.
This is his only credit for anything. His entire IMDb page is empty except for this.
What a legacy, though, right? Imagine it's like a bunch of movies come out and you're just like, bam, dominoes, and then you just back out of the room and like you're done, dude. That's fucking amazing.
So you're right and you're wrong. Keanu Reeves was a star by this point. He was Point Break, Speed. Yeah. He was a serious contender. Like what do you call that? Forced to be contended with. People liked him. He was a joke in the 80s.
But I feel
Bill
like
and Ted and Parenthood came out.
Yeah, I feel like through The Matrix though, people still dunked on him because he was like robotic in his delivery in like the serious stuff. But I may be misremembering.
Yeah, he was definitely a joke in the 80s. Like, because he was just like the whoa dude,
the goofy stoner. Yeah.
But anyway, I actually took that fact from a movie that came out 2 years earlier. Remember Leon the Professional?
Yes.
He was actually he was considered for the lead in that.
Oh.
No shit.
That is outrageous. Another best movie contender.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
I would fucking
another one I saw in the theaters. I'm so happy to say I saw it in the theaters.
Hey.
Gary Oldman, one of my favorites.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
He's top 5 for me.
Right.
All right, cool. Thanks for that. Let's throw it to the catch-all.
Rob
This
wins.
gives me a plan.
Yeah, but I want
this whole week is a win because I got Chris to watch Grosse Pointe Blank. So nothing can take the wind out of my sails.
Not even
it took the wind out of mine.
Nope. I'm happy. I'm glad to have the migraine because I'm doing this right now.
Here's something tropey for you. The opens in nonchalance with accompanying turmoil. So, so John Cusack's Martin Blank is like not bothered by the fact that he's killing someone. He's just like on the phone and having a conversation. Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Maybe it originated here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah. So this goes back to my our screenwriter being unknown except for this movie. The director for this movie was known for his past exploitation movies. Like he's never done anything of note except for this. Everything has been like a sleazy exploitation action movie. And guess who loves that kind of movie? Tarantino.
Yeah.
And Tarantino became friends with this guy.
Yeah.
And actually wanted to be in the Ultimart scene. But the guy's like, no, there's no place for you in the scene. But so all they agreed to do was allow him to shoot up the Pulp Fiction standee.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that was authorized by Tarantino because he was such a fan of this guy.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
One thing we glossed over, but I did hint at the buddy cop dynamic between Hank Azaria and I'm looking at Todd Freeman, the NSA agents that are like in Aykroyd's back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just like
Yeah.
so you have a rom-com, you have an action movie, you have a dramedy, and then you have like a buddy cop film like kind of shoved into this as a side quest. And
Sure.
it just adds a whole other layer of just how it's stupid, but it works so well.
That was kind of fun.
Agreed. Yeah.
I want to say
And
extreme
they're
pipe
ultimately-
logic.
They're ultimately disposable. The way they go out the end.
Yeah. But they
Anyway.
it's one of those things where it's like they elevate the movie because they're there, but like it wouldn't take away from the movie if they weren't. It's just like it's like salt on your eggs, you know? It's just like perfect amount.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
They added like a nice 6 minutes to the movie.
Yeah.
Or so. Extreme pipe logic, though. The amount of space that he has above the second target that he hits when he's sending poison through the like vent into the victim's mouth.
Mhm.
Not no hotel ever anywhere. Just
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of the production, Grosse Pointe is actually a school, an area of Detroit. But the only shot of Grosse Pointe is the aerial shot of the road next to the lake when he first gets to town, with the Grosse Pointe South High's school's bell tower in the background.
Huh.
Everything else was shot somewhere else. Thought that was interesting.
Right. The TV on Aykroyd's head. This is something I'm going to take points away for. I know for a fact that tube TVs are like impossible to break the screen of. Like, I learned that fact because I used to watch like the Making the Music video. I can't hear you. You there, Chris? We lost your volume, Chris.
Oh yeah, no sound for Chris.
So while you're fixing that, there was a making of the video for Blink 182's, I think it was not First Day, rock show. And they said like while making the video, they like the people were like Travis Barker, like you can't break the TV in this video, and they thought they were breaking a rule or like doing like a environmental violation. They're like, no, it's physically impossible to like break a tube TV with a baseball bat because the screens are like so thick and they're vacuum sealed. So I didn't buy it when he got his head crushed by the TV.
There's a movie from the 80s. It's called Henry: Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Okay.
Where someone else gets killed the same exact way, and I wonder if it was pulled from that, or if it's just like you said, convenient.
Yeah. Chris, we still don't see you. Can you talk? Chris?
Oh, he's frozen.
He's intermittently frozen.
Yes.
So I guess we go back and forth, and then Chris will rapid fire.
That sounds good to me.
Can you nod yes or no? Hello? Can you try talking?
Sort of.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, we heard him. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
All right, I'm getting rid of this internet provider. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah.
It's every fucking week I deal with this bullshit. I just don't understand.
Yeah. I'm an AT&T fiber.
And I'm
guy
sorry,
myself.
it lessens the quality of our pod.
That's fine.
I
The bar's
want
pretty low.
Xfinity, I hear it's pretty... Yeah, I mean, as soon as we blow up, I'm sure there's going to be like some production team that helps us like get this shit done.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh, how about that? He's not damn he's good, which shows his career instability. Like, he's not sure that he wants to do this anymore, I bet you at one point he was pretty like a sure thing, but he kind of fucks up.
Yeah. He's good, but he's hesitant, and his hesitations are what fuck up his jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because he doesn't really want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
So the
Sorry about-
director originally wanted to shoot all the scenes at the high school in the actual Grosse Pointe South High, but the school board did not give permission because they felt it would be a bad look to have a graduate from Grosse Pointe be a hitman, which makes no sense because
Yeah.
they were going to do that anyway. so
Yeah.
the school
Yeah,
board
that's
would
all
not
right.
let
You're
them
right. You're
shoot in
right.
the school.
Yeah.
This isn't really an observation, but more so a question. Is this like a pop culture thing? Like the high school reunion is like Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion came out a couple years after that, and it's always been a trope in like sitcoms and movies. But like, is it like the food fight, or like no one actually does that? Because I remember like when I was still on Facebook, like it was just like the treasurer from our graduating class going like, "Hey guys, we're gonna have a reunion. We're gonna meet at this brewery. You know, you can bring a +1." And that was it. You know, were high school reunions ever like a big event? Did people ever
Yes, I
actually take them seriously?
I think they were. Yeah.
Yes, my in-laws, before my father-in-law passed away, that was like the biggest event of the year. Every year they had the reunion. It was like a thing they looked forward to. It was a big deal.
Like on the radio and shit.
This is all before social media.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
before
true.
social media.
I guess now because we're constantly in touch with everybody, it doesn't really matter anymore. So that's a good point.
That kind of shifted with my generation because same thing. They were like looking to have a 10-year reunion and no one like responded. Like, we don't want to do that. We have Facebook now. And
Yeah.
it was like,
yeah.
I'm in all of the DMs that matter. All right, fair enough.
That's sick. All right. Grosse Pointe is an awful city name. I hate that this movie is called Grosse Pointe Blank. I just hate the title of the movie. I did not want to watch it solely based on the Cusack siblings being ugly and the name being ugly and everything about the aesthetic of this movie.
Yeah.
But, they had Doom 2 in the convenience store, like I said before, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Other than that.
I'm going to jump ahead to my next one because it links to Chris's. Doom 2 was never actually built as an arcade cabinet.
Yeah,
so
it's a PC game.
It was constructed just for this film.
How about that?
Yeah.
That is
cool. I thought that was cool.
That is cool.
Speaking of the Doom scene, that's one of my favorite lines is, "I'm hurt, I'm pissed, and now I gotta find a new job."
Oh, that was great. I love that character.
He completely does not care that like he almost got like fucking killed. He's just like, shit. Now I gotta fill out an application.
Go through
and, like,
the
knock on some
application
doors.
process. Yeah.
That's it.
I love that it took 5 minutes to establish that his father was an alcoholic and that his mother's insane.
Yeah.
It really took no time at all. They didn't even say anything about his dad, except for that he poured out like a bottle of whiskey on his grave, which said it all. Just good movie.
Visual
making.
storytelling.
Get that done. Right, and which tells you a little bit about why he's so fucked up. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, very good. This was an interesting little thing I didn't see, and I read about it, and I went back and looked. The invitation to the reunion that he has stuffed on the mirror, it says it requires attendees to dress to kill.
Oh, that's clever.
No
I actually never noticed that, but now I will never unnotice it.
I did not. Yeah.
Look for it. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's my last one, by the way.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I'm just riffing here. I didn't write anything down because I just love this movie, and I'm just going off the dome. So we could do a Chris rapid fire, and then we could just interject. But Dan Aykroyd's character, I just love how like as adversarial as and like antagonistic as he is to Martin Blank, he's still like. He extends the olive branch. He's like, hey, try these new benzos I'm taking. They really take the edge off. Like they have like guns pointed at each other under the table. And he's like, you gotta try these. Make Prozac seem like Tic Tacs.
Yeah, right.
It's just like even when like they're at complete odds with each other, they still talk shop and like give each other tips. And it's just such a great relationship as far as like protagonist versus antagonist. Yeah, unmatched ever in unmatched sense. That's never been topped. in cinema.
All right, get your bingo cards out. This is the time that Rob gives the movie too much credit.
No, I'm giving the
All right,
appropriate amount of credit. Go ahead.
So I'm doing a lightning round here.
Yeah, and then we'll butt in.
Okay. The radio scene setup is really fun when they're like having an argument about how he like left for 10 years and she's like documenting that to her listeners. Like that would make for a really good radio. I like it. Yeah. The fake cop friend, the security guard guy, like the
like the mall cop, the neighborhood watch
HOA,
guy.
The HOA guy. He reminds me of Jeremy DeWitt. Do you know who that is?
Sounds familiar, but if you name something he's in,
I don't know. This is for you guys and our hundreds and thousands of listeners. Jeremy DeWitt is a guy who pretends to be a police officer regularly, and he's constantly arrested for pretending to be a police officer. And
like in real life,
really funny.
In real life,
he
right.
he has like a security company, and he constantly is impersonating police officers. Like he's trying to get as close as he can to look like a real police officer.
Yeah.
Without breaking the law. So like the police pull him over and they're like, you can't have those lights. And he's like, actually in section C1825, I'm allowed to have these lights because they're like tinted certain color that but then they're like, yeah, but you can't have that pepper spray. And they end up arresting him every time.
Yeah. And
because because he violates the law and he is impersonating a police officer, obviously.
Does he have like the black matte wraparound finish on his F-150? Like one of those guys.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah, he's got one of those like motorcycles with the like pouches on the that he keeps like police shit, and it's super funny. Look up Jeremy DeWitt. It's like honestly, it's really funny because he gets really pissed off and like screams at the cops that are arresting him too. Nice. It's super funny. Sorry, but headphones do not black out gunfire. This is from the convenience scene store where he's playing like Doom 2 and he's listening to music and there's like gunfire going on behind him.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear that.
Dude, have you ever played Doom 2? Have you ever played Doom 2 growing up?
He's listening to music though.
Yeah, you get in the fucking zone though, dude. Is what I'm saying. It's like that's an enthralling game.
Yeah, all right. I'm not going to say you're giving the movie too much credit. I did mention the cool fiction cutout. Thought that was cool. Hey, a microwave bomb and a jump away from explosion trope. How about that? Here's a question for you though. With the microwave bomb, how does that work? Because you put the thing in the microwave, and then you set it for an amount of time, and somehow the assassin always knows exactly that it's going to go off when the timer on the microwave is done. I'm saying add another 2 minutes or something.
Well, here's the thing, though. If it's a consistent amount of heat hitting the block of what I would imagine is C4 or something similar.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it just like if you set it for 5 minutes, wouldn't it just blow after 3? After it had enough heat?
That's what I mean. It's like, like how do these assassins know exactly how much microwave energy to put into it that they get it from like 3, 2, 1, 0 it blows up? I'm saying add another minute just in case you're wrong. Yeah. Because you're definitely not going to kill your target if you I just thought that was a funny thought.
Yeah,
that's worth some
I
research.
love
I don't understand it either. So that might be.
No, I don't get it at all.
It's just artistic.
It's really
license.
so that you can.
Yeah,
it is. It's a filmmaker thing because they want to look at the digital countdown on the microwave.
Well, what I noticed when I saw that the guy did nothing but exploitation movies, I'm like, this was a big Hail Mary pass for this guy. Like, I'm gonna try to make something commercially successful, but still throw in a lot of my little things that I do. And I think that's just wow, such a great go.
Yeah, a risk worth taking. He did a good job. I want to say that I love a dirty martini. This chick had like a dirty martini going, the one that interrupts them at dinner.
Oh yeah.
Speaking
of interruptions, how did you feel about like the cokehead alcoholic jock with the poetry?
Loved him
when he's just I'm drunk. Blank.
Bob. Yeah. Loved Bobby. I thought though that so when Martin shuts him down
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you give that guy like a few more lines of his poetry before you shoot him down if you don't want to get in a fist fight, which is what he's trying to avoid. He's obviously being a dick by shooting down too fast. You know, you got to listen to a little bit.
Point.
So I didn't love that, but I did like the character.
For a while.
He leaves the reunion. Yeah, for a while. For a while. Great.
For a while.
That's fantastic. All right. Here's a problem. He leaves the reunion flyer next to the phone in his room for the other assassin to find.
Yeah.
Which he does.
He's getting careless.
And that's how he knows how to find.
Yeah, he's getting careless.
Yeah, he is.
He's following his heart instead of his mind, and that's where all the conflict comes from in this movie, Chris.
So everyone at the reunion is only 28 years old. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, this is still the time. In filmmaking. This is still the time in filmmaking where like they just did not get that right. Like you still had like 90210, like they're all like 30 playing like freshmen. Yeah.
No, they're not 20.
Honestly, I want to say they were only a couple years off on Cusack and Piven. They weren't that far off because I want to say Cusack is
he would have been 30
years older than me.
Cusack was born in 66, and this was in 96, and they're playing 28 years old, so he would have been 30 in real life.
Okay,
so not far.
That's fine.
Only a couple years.
Everyone there though.
Yeah, but
Bobby?
also this is the thing that got me. The lady who has checked them in. Remember, she's like, you know,
give me a break.
She had 3 kids. She said she had 3 kids.
Yeah.
But it's possible if she's like, you know, married her high school sweetheart and had kids right away. Maybe
that's
maybe
Fast
that
Times at Grosse Pointe High.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was the point, is like to show her life as like nothing but Grosse Pointe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yes, I suppose.
I wasn't mad at it. I was just
why
like,
was that woman wearing a wedding dress at the reunion?
Maybe they got married that day.
Or it was a prom dress that just looked wedding-ish?
No, it was a wedding dress. I want to say they may have got married that day and they went there before the honeymoon.
What a couple of losers. I love when Martin's like, "Hey, Bobby, it's Martin from high school."
Yeah.
They're at the fucking high school reunion.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was
by the way,
out of his gourd, though, right? So I think it was meant to be patronizing.
Yeah, I think so.
Martin had bloody fingers and clearly left a giant smear of blood on the wall that he did not address.
Yeah.
He got La Poubelle's blood all over the wall and did nothing about it. Dan Aykroyd running is just funny.
Yeah.
It's only for a short while, but he's like running with the guns.
You're talking about when they're in the mansion and he closes the door, he's just like
yeah, it's really good. Really good stuff. I wanted to give them credit, though, because they reload in this movie.
Yes.
Sure, it's a lot of clips, but they do reload, and they make it obvious. Another TV death a la Mother's Day. Only you're right, Rob. I don't care how hard you hit Dan Aykroyd in the face with that thing. It's not breaking the glass.
Yeah.
Let's move it on to what we're watching.
Sure.
It's all you of Earth
If you're not taking our recommendations, then you're
are idiots.
Right.
Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. I have been watching this in pieces. I really wanted it to win the poll this week. It did not. I will tell you what did. But it's outrageous, and we got to do it. We have to do it.
For a good movie.
We should do every Hulk Hogan movie that there is at some point.
For a good movie? No bad movie?
Despite Christopher Lloyd
Yeah.
Being in Suburban Command, it is awful.
Okay.
Also, I just wanted to shout out to Disney. Not that they need it. Not that they're not like corporate.
No, they need our endorsement, dude. They're hurting right now. So.
But have you guys seen the movie Onward? I don't suppose that you have, Bob, because your kids are old.
No. Yeah.
there's this movie. It's a animated movie called Onward, and I started it with my kids again. I had seen it with my wife. We just checked it out when it came out because we were like bigger Disney supporters back then than we are now. But it is just a really good take on like mystical creature fantasy, but very humanized. Really good story. I stopped watching it with my kids though because my wife was like, "Hey, you realize that the dad like dies in the movie, and it's like kind of heavy, and we haven't really dealt with death with our children yet,
Yeah.
so maybe we shouldn't like talk about how you could die." And I was, yeah, that's a good point. So we didn't finish it, but it is a really good movie. It might make you cry a little bit if you're inclined to do so. But yeah, check Onward on Disney. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good animated movie for kids, but they have to be a little older. All right, go ahead.
Speaking of bad movies, I watched the Riff Tracks version of Samurai Cop. Now, for those of you not in the know, Riff Tracks is what the Mystery Science Theater guys did after Mystery Science Theater changed faces, and this is a perfect addendum to our Samurai Cop episode, and I highly encourage you guys to seek this out. These guys know
where can they find
the
that?
dialogue. So I found it on Pluto TV. Oh, you're talking to Rob. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, sorry, not to interrupt you, Bob. Go ahead. Where did you find it? Pluto?
Pluto TV has a Riff Tracks station that you can just stream.
Nice.
And it's not on demand, but you can catch it. It's on often enough that you'll see Samurai Cop at some point. And like I said, these guys know when to riff, and they know when the dialogue is just funny enough not to riff. And they're just masters at their craft. I laughed. Like, I know Samurai Cop frontwards and backwards because of doing all the show, and it still got me every time. It just got me every time. And
Awesome.
when the guy
Awesome.
says, when the guy talks about having a club up his ass,
yeah,
one of the riffers goes, he's like, "Forget about Casablanca. I have my new favorite movie line." Like they definitely just take
And it
the lines
hurts.
from the movie, and they're like that was just good.
Nice.
So yeah, I really really enjoyed that. I found myself like having sore face from laughing so hard watching that.
Dope.
And my other movie, I was a movie. It's one of the recent ones called Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
It came out last year. Has Kristen Stewart and Ed Harris.
All right.
It's a semi-violent drama about a female bodybuilder who is an actress I don't know well, and she falls in love with a gym worker who's played by Kristen Stewart, and they unexpectedly get involved with her crime boss family led by Ed Harris.
All right.
And this is also set in like the, I'll say, mid to late 80s. So the bodybuilder is doing like steroids supplied by Kristen Stewart.
Okay.
And
Right.
like goes into like blind rage and ends up killing a guy. So it's got some violence in. Oh, that's who it is. James Franco's brother.
Other Franco.
Yeah, the other Franco.
Dave.
I can't think of his name.
Dave Franco.
Yeah,
It's
he
Dave.
was in this. He was in this.
All right.
Yeah,
And
he's good.
It's all right. I gave it. I think I want to say I gave it like 8 out of 10. Like it was good, just not great. But
Okay.
out of the movies that came out last year, it was in my top handful.
Nice.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So I have 3 things I'll just breeze through. The Bear season 3. It's a 10 episode run. It dropped on the 27th. It's good. It's I was afraid that it was going to go into straight dramatic territory, but they somehow they did the unthinkable and made it like 10 times more dramatic, but also an equal amount funnier. Lots of people just like screaming at each other to the point of like you as a viewer being uncomfortable, but like then like the wrong person just walking in, not knowing what's transpiring, and everybody being like, "What the fuck?" Like it's good.
Yeah.
So that was really good. And then I've been digging for pitches for bad movies because I want to have a run. I want to have one hell of a run next season.
Cool.
Evolution with David Duchovny and Sean William Scott and Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts and Julianne Moore and what's the other guy?
I'm down.
Yeah, it's good. It's basically like it's David Duchovny like being best known for X-Files, trying to get away from serious sci-fi by doing like a Fox Mulder adjacent character who's fun and kind of failing miserably, but it's still kind of funny. And then I watched Major Pain last night with Damon Wayans. And it is it's stupid. It's like Full Metal Jacket for kids, but it's so fucking funny, dude. You know the one scene where he's just like, you need to pop your titty out his mouth and stop babying the kid. And she's like, what did you just say to me? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. You need to pop your titty out his mouth. He's just so Roger Ebert gave it a 3 out of 4 stars of all people. And he's just like, when you do a movie like this, you need to fully commit, and Damon Wayans did so. And I agree. Like it's like it's one of those like I know this. It has like a 27 critic versus like an almost 70 audience. So it's one of those movies. It's borderline. Okay. And it's like if you know you're part of the audience that this movie's directed to, it's a good time. But if you don't like that kind of humor, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, Damon Wayans is a talent. I've always thought he was.
Yes.
Out of the Wayans brothers, I thought he was the most talented.
Yeah, so that's
like
the most
stuff. Yeah. I forget which Wayans brother. I think it was Marlon who did Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, he was good. He was good in that.
They did the scary movie too, didn't they? They write all the scary movie ones.
Yeah,
or the first couple.
They did.
I didn't like those.
I like the first two, and then it got like.
Good.
Yeah, and then
the second one has.
Then they stopped parodying.
Movies,
yeah,
the first 2 movies were the best. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Yeah,
and Don't Be a Menace to South Central.
Okay,
Central.
Those were
drinking your juice in the hood or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's start the back credit names.
Stupid! Stupid!
Bad credit names. I gotta do it. I'm sorry. You're attractive, but your name is Minnie Driver. There was a movie that came out somewhat recently called Baby Driver. They took a name and made a weird movie name out of it because your name is weird. KK Dodds.
Baby Driver, by the way, is one of my top 10 of all time. I absolutely love that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't seen it.
I really like
it. It is stylish as hell. You would love it, Rob.
All right.
It is, yeah. You would like it. I like it.
Baby Driver.
KK Dodds.
Yeah.
DV Divincentic. DV Divincentic. No. 2 more. Willie Williams.
Ew.
Terrence.
So William Williams, but Willie Williams.
Yeah.
And last one is Cricky Long.
Ew.
That's the winner this week. Cricky Long. Glad to see you, Cricky Long. All right, let's go over to the results.
Do I have I don't have a bumper for that. I'm just doing the comparison bump.
Yeah.
All right.
This gives me a plan.
Let's compare the movie.
All right.
Plus 7.8 on best result. Good job. Grosse Pointe Blank, you're a good movie. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Rob, you win with a 4.125 star pitch. Yeah. It's fitting that you would win this one.
Yeah.
What works well? I mean, this movie ages as well as Minnie Driver does. It's still great.
It's like
dialogue.
90s, it's like 90s Simpsons. It's a time capsule of the 90s, but it doesn't matter because it's that representative of the time it was created.
It is much less offensive than almost everything else that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's true. It is really not offensive. I agree.
Yeah.
Dialogue. I mean,
sharp.
Subtle.
Witty.
Sharp. Yeah.
So even though the
Yeah.
screenwriter was the screenwriter, he obviously brought the script saying, "Here's my movie," but John Cusack was
Yeah.
actually a co-writer for the screenplay.
Wow.
Right.
And it just
Okay.
goes to show that he knows how to write for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he knows.
I
what
still
he
don't like
sounds
the way he
like.
looks.
Wow.
Production, pacing, balance.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Acting. You know, it's fucking well acted. I thought it was. I
Great
didn't.
chemistry.
I didn't. Yeah, nobody in there really made me upset about it.
Everybody was
And then
perfectly cast, and nobody was out of their element. They were all perfectly cast for the role that was assigned to them.
I would have liked Gene Hackman in there, but demerits. Demerits for me. I wrote ugly cast, minus Minnie Driver.
Yeah, I mean, not entirely wrong. I don't.
That kickboxer hitman was an ugly dude, man.
I don't want to sound like a gay. I don't want to sound like a. I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but like, John Cusack's just like a regular looking guy. Not even like up.
I don't want to sound queer or nothing, but I'd love to shoot a hot creamy load right up his
pooper. What do you say, stud? Orgasmo's a good movie contender.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think it'll make it to good movie week.
No.
Anyway, next week, Bob, you have cause to celebrate.
Oh, fuck.
Last time you gave us the glove. This time you gave us Garbage Pail Kids or whatever it's called.
The GPKM, the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
This is listed as one of the worst movies of all time.
Is it a cartoon?
It's right in our wheelhouse.
Is it a cartoon? Are they cartoons?
No, I think it's live action.
It's not a cartoon.
Aren't they like trading cards or something? Like what are Garbage
They
Pail
were.
Kids?
So
All right.
when I was in elementary school in the 80s, yes, we collected Garbage Pail Kids trading cards / stickers.
All right.
And it was a reaction to Cabbage Patch Kids, which was a toy that was huge in the 80s. And Garbage Pail Kids was like the opposite. They were all named like gross out names. Like there was a character named Ray Gunn, and he was he looked like Ronald Reagan, but he had like his finger on the button, like to blow things up. And then there was like Polly Puke or something like that.
And then Prom Night Dumpster Baby, stuff like that.
It was horrible, and for some reason I thought it was great, and I collected them, and so did my friends, and that was like a thing that we did. That was like pre Pokemon, pre fidget spinners, you name it. It was pre everything, and they made this movie, in '87, and I've never seen it. I just know it's really supposed to be one of the worst movies ever made.
Is this one of the things?
I have heard about it. Yeah,
like where they did a brand crossover before they learned how to perfect the formula with like the Trolls movie or the Lego movie. It's just like,
oh yeah.
So it's just like, this thing's popular. Let's make a movie without like consulting the source material and just like kind of one of those types.
Oh, totally. This was basically pre Ninja Turtles, but in the same vein.
Okay.
Like Ninja Turtles were popular as a cartoon, and like we're gonna make a movie, and it wasn't good in my opinion, the Turtle movie, but it was people liked it way better than this.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
It was good.
All right. So Garbage Pail Kids movie. Got it.
Yep, that's what we're doing. Rob, why don't you plug us? We'll throw it to Bob for his last word.
Yeah. www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Click the buttons that follow the things. We have YouTube, we have Spotify, we have Google Play, we have Apple Podcasts. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. You could email us. If you do follow us on YouTube, hit that little bell and subscribe button, and you'll get notifications whenever we put out hot, spicy 4D, Ultra HD content with all of our wonderful faces on it.
Punch it, caress it.
Yes. I've been told I have a voice for writing and a face for radio, so it's really the worst of all worlds. Bob?
Well, then why do I think you're so sexy?
Instead, I'm going to say Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm glad we got through this. I'm glad we got Chris to watch Grosse Pointe Blank with two of his least favorite people and others.
And it was good.
So, yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week with the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Ta-ta.
Jelly School.
Yeah, bye Jelly School.
Jelly School. That was a fun. It was a fun episode. You win.
I know, dude. It was a great movie.